Want to know the one thing that turns women on more than anything else? It's not money, looks, or even confidence. What if I told you there's a simple trait that's more attractive than all of that combined? Stick around because this secret is about to change the game for you. All right, let's dive deep into what we're talking about today. Understanding the biggest turn on for women, a trait that over 10,000 women identified as more attractive than looks, status, money, or even charm. This one characteristic, when embodied, draws women in and creates a magnetic attraction that's hard to resist. We're going to get into what it is, why it works, and more importantly, how you can develop it. This is about something called outcome independence, a powerful mindset and approach that's not only attractive, but achievable. To get there, we need to break down what outcome independence really means and why it's a game changer. Picture this: you're out somewhere social, maybe with friends, and you're chatting with a woman you're interested in. Most guys, without realizing it, slip into impress mode, where they're so focused on saying the right things, making her laugh, or proving they're interesting that they lose sight of the actual moment. When a guy is in this impress mode, he's essentially putting on a performance in the hopes of being validated or approved by her. It's subtle, but this can make a huge difference in how she feels about him. Now compare this with a guy who embodies outcome independence. He's not there to perform, to impress, or to win her approval. He's simply there to enjoy himself. When he speaks, he's not measuring her reaction or adjusting his words to keep her attention. He's just expressing himself naturally. This guy is focused on his own enjoyment of the interaction. And this is the key difference. Women are incredibly perceptive, and they can sense when a guy is out to win something from them versus when he's simply having a good time. And this vibe can be felt deeply. Outcome independence, therefore, is when you're relaxed about how any specific interaction turns out. And because of that, you come off as someone who has options, someone who doesn't need to try hard. And believe it or not, this quality is incredibly attractive. But why exactly is this trait so irresistible to women? First, let's talk about confidence. Outcome independence radiates a confidence that isn't about arrogance or pride. It's a confidence that says, I'm okay with who I am, whether or not I get this person's approval. When women encounter this kind of grounded confidence, it's like a breath of fresh air. Unlike someone who's anxious to impress or win, a man who's outcome independent gives off a strong sense of self that doesn't waver based on the outcome of any one interaction. He's secure, he knows his value, and this security creates a sense of mystery and allure because it suggests he has other people or opportunities in his life. Women are drawn to men who seem like they have options. It signals that he's valuable and likely to be someone worth knowing. Another reason outcome independence works so well is because it removes that dreaded sense of desperation. Desperation is a turnoff for most people, but it's especially true for women. When a man comes off as desperate to please, desperate to impress, or desperate for her approval, it suggests that he's putting her on a pedestal, something most women find uncomfortable. Outcome independence, on the other hand, means you're not placing her on a pedestal. You're giving her a chance to get to know you without pressure, and that lack of pressure makes her feel more comfortable and more open. It shows that you're a man who has his own life, and whether or not she chooses to be part of it is up to her. So, how can you cultivate this incredibly attractive trait? Let's get into some practical steps. The first step to developing outcome independence is understanding that, fundamentally, nothing changes if she's not interested. Think about this for a moment. When you approach someone or start talking to a woman, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe she's not into you. Maybe she doesn't laugh at your jokes or respond in the way you'd hoped. But if she doesn't reciprocate your interest, does it actually change anything in your life? Are you any worse off than you were 5 minutes before you met her? No, not really. Understanding this simple truth is key to being more relaxed in interactions. To really internalize this, try a mental exercise that I like to call the same place exercise. Imagine that every time you talk to someone you're interested in, you remind yourself that whether or not they respond positively, you'll end up in the same place afterward. The goal is to free yourself from any fear of rejection by understanding that nothing substantial in your life changes because of a single conversation. You are still you, and your life remains the same whether or not she reciprocates your interest. When you embrace this mindset, you're less likely to act from a place of desperation or insecurity, and this confidence will come across naturally. But let's go deeper. There's another powerful strategy for building outcome independence, and it's called self-amusement. Self-amusement is about prioritizing your own enjoyment in any interaction. When you talk to someone, instead of thinking about what they'll find interesting, talk about things that actually interest you. Share a story or a perspective that makes you laugh or that you find meaningful. When you shift your focus to your own enjoyment, two important things happen. First, you appear more authentic and confident because you're speaking from a place of genuine interest rather than performance. Second, you take the pressure off the other person because you're not looking for them to validate you. You're simply having a good time. Here's a tip for developing self-amusement. Next time you're out socializing, challenge yourself to say or do things purely because they make you laugh or because you find them fun. Don't filter yourself based on what you think someone wants to hear. This doesn't mean you're rude or inconsiderate, it simply means you're being real. For example, if you're in the middle of telling a story and find yourself laughing at something that happened, share that laughter. People are drawn to those who enjoy themselves, and self-amusement sends a strong signal that you're someone who's comfortable and doesn't need anyone's approval. Let's take this a step further with another concept that will help you develop outcome independence. Increase your options. Here's the truth. When you feel like you only have one shot, you're more likely to feel pressure to make that interaction work. And this pressure is what causes people to act needy or desperate. But when you know that you have other options, whether that's in dating, friendships, or even job opportunities, you naturally relax because there's no need to feel desperate. You know that, regardless of what happens in any single situation, you're not reliant on that outcome. And this security translates into confidence, which makes you more attractive to everyone around you. To increase your options, start by expanding your social circle and creating more opportunities for connection. Go out more, try new activities, meet people through mutual friends, or even join online groups around your interests. When you have a variety of people in your life and more social interactions, you're less likely to feel overly invested in any one connection. This is the real secret to avoiding the desperation trap. By surrounding yourself with options, you can focus on having fun and getting to know people without putting them on a pedestal. And women can sense when you're not chasing, because you're not depending on anyone for validation. So to recap, outcome independence is one of the most attractive traits a man can embody, and it's something that anyone can develop with practice. It's not about ignoring women or not showing interest, it's about being comfortable with whatever outcome an interaction brings. It's a shift from focusing on what you think you should do to focusing on what you want to do, enjoying the moment, and being genuine without trying to control the result. In any interaction, remember that you are in control of how much of yourself you give, but you're not in control of how someone else will respond. When you stop trying to control the response, when you relax and just enjoy yourself, people pick up on that vibe, and it's incredibly attractive. Women want to be with someone who is secure, fun, and self-sufficient. The more outcome independent you become, the easier it is to embody these traits without effort. Practice the same place exercise to remind yourself that no single interaction will define you. Engage in self-amusement to keep things light and fun, focusing on your enjoyment rather than impressing someone else. And finally, increase your options by meeting more people and expanding your social world, so you're never relying on just one interaction to feel good about yourself. By taking these steps, you'll notice a significant shift in how people respond to you, and you'll find that building connections becomes more natural and enjoyable. Outcome independence isn't just a dating strategy. It's a way to approach life. It's about valuing your own sense of enjoyment and worth without letting any one person or situation determine it. And this, in turn, will make you someone who is naturally attractive, someone who others will want to know and be around. So, keep practicing these strategies, keep focusing on yourself, and remember that being genuine and relaxed is your biggest advantage. Women love confidence, and there's nothing more confident than a man who's at peace with any outcome.